Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Self-Care Tarot. As you can see, I've got a little bit of a different setup here. I am trying to take advantage of a bit of the natural light that was here earlier, but there are some storm clouds moving in. But I wanted to take also a little bit advantage of the fresh air and a different location. And, you know, it's Self-Care Tarot, so we do those things here. So, yeah, this week has been processing a lot of deep stuff. So just to be transparent, my astrology makeup is I'm a Taurus sun, I'm a Scorpio rising, and a Sagittarius moon. So basically that just means that I'm kind of all over the place as far as being a human goes. The way that an astrologer explained it to me, my Taurus always wants to have something set up and solid, while my Scorpio rising is like, no, I'm gonna knock that shit completely down. And then my Sagittarius moon is just looking at it all like, yeah, humans be doing that. Humans be doing that shit, right? Like, and just like kind of chilling, right? So, what I've been learning to do is really connect with my Sagittarius moon. And it's interesting too, this week that we had the release of the first images of a black hole called Sagittarius A, which I thought was like, wow, that's pretty interesting and very, I don't know, just had like kind of a spiritual feel to it too. Even though, yeah, what an amazing discovery and amazing, not discovery, but what an amazing point of view and ability to be able to see that happening in the very center of the Milky Way. Like, how amazing is that science? Okay, so just wanted to talk about that. That's just a little bit about me, self-care week. I am going to shuffle the cards here, and we're going to pull an upright card. I'm going to read, just pull out an upright card and talk about the energy about it, and then let's see where it goes from there. Okay. Call in my divine and enlightened masters and teachers to come into this reading with a message for the collective about self-care and tarot and their journey with tarot. Do I have it right? Okay. Thank you so much, Spirit. All right, can you give us a card? Just something to get us started with the reading today. Okay. Let's see. The Eight of Wands. Love it. Now this is interesting because I have always, even though this is associated with the planet Mercury, and I think this is connected to the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. The Eight of Wands, it's very correct here. I hope you can see that properly. Eight of Wands is about news, communication, and travel. Typically, this is about news that comes in very quickly, very fast. It's about support and help. It's about this is like lightning bolt fast news. And of course, it's associated with the sign of Mercury. Mercury is the planet of, Mercury is the god of communication and messages, things like that. Wow. And it's not, I think Eight of Wands too, because if I look at this as messages, it's one thing, and that's associated with swords. But Wands is about action. So this is not just news, communication, and travel. This is about news this is about actionable news. This is about actionable actionable communication. These are about actions. Wands are about actions. This is also associated with signs of fire signs. 8 of Wands. Sorry about that. got my top caught on my oh, look at that. Whew. Now, so I just went and tried to pull another card, and the Chariot came out. So now we have the 8 of Wands and the Chariot. Now this is showing me we've got actionable news, communication and travel, or you could be getting it from Sagittarius, getting it in Sagittarius season, or maybe when Mercury is in Sagittarius. That could be a timing method there. But then we also have the Chariot. Now the Chariot is, okay, let me pull this up so you can see it. The Chariot is about triumph, full speed ahead, and victory. So there is a lot, it looks like there's a lot of messaging, actionable communication coming in. And it's typically, to me, the Chariot is all about success. Now, if you have been with me, though, in the last, couple of weeks, the Chariot is also about fate, fated movement. You are moving into a direction that was already written, right? It was already written and prescribed and prepared before you got here. It is fate. And sometimes, again, I'm just being honest. Sometimes fate fate sometimes will ask us to believe and see and hear things that we never thought we would see, hear, or believe. And I think belief is the biggest part of that. Belief, faith, and understanding that we're being called to do something regardless of whether or not we are prepared or ready. We are being called. That is our fate. So there's that. Now, and Chariot is also the card 7. It is a major arcana card, so that usually talks about an overarching theme in the reading. This is about success. This is about fated events. This is about triumph. It's full speed ahead. It's victory. All right, let's see. This seemed to want to come out. Ooh. I was hoping for a positive reading, and sorry about the plane noises flying overhead. So, fated events. So we've gone from the 8 of Wands, something coming in very quickly, news coming in very quickly, something about success, something about, the Chariot, full speed ahead. We're fated to do this. And when I say fate, this is, fate, destiny. This is our thing. This is what we're here for, right? And then bam, 8 of Swords. I feel as if there is this, looking at this reading all together now, and I'll talk a little bit about the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords is typically a feeling of being stuck, being confused, being given the feeling of powerlessness. But in the traditional Rider-Waite card, it's basically, when we talk about swords, we talk about ideas. We talk about the mental state. We talk about messages sometimes, and that's why I said Mercury and messages, but this is Jupiter. This is the sign of Jupiter, and it's Jupiter in Gemini, it looks like. And it's confusion, it's powerlessness, but it's also being stuck in our own mental state, being stuck in our own mind, right? And there's no one, it's almost as if there's no one keeping us there, or someone has given us the idea that we are stuck, that we have no choice, right? That we can't get out of our own accord, when absolutely we can. We can always just say no. We can always say, excuse my language, we can always say fuck off, right? We can always say, I'm not in this. I'm not doing this. So I'm going to look at the bottom of the deck. That usually gives us our overarching theme for the reading and what it might be about. And we have the 10 of Wands. Now, it's so funny looking at this man carrying this pack up a hill, this very overly heavy pack up a hill. But this is about our burdens, our struggles, and overextending. This is also a sign, this is also Sagittarius, right? This is also about the power that we have to destroy. And this is, okay, I'm reading the intuitive reading overall, and I'm taking into account here. But this is also, I think, the overall reading is about our power to destroy what is not meant for us or what is not good for us. We have to tap into this innate feminine power to do these things, to uproot ourselves and move, or do like the black hole Sagittarius A is doing, which is constantly reinventing itself, constantly taking in, planets around it, destroying them with its own pull of force of gravity, and then pushing it back out to, I don't know, wherever, because we don't know where black holes go. But there's so much gravity that it's pulling in. And so now it's like, look at that. I'm talking about gravity and I'm talking about a black hole. And look at this guy being crushed under the weight of his own choices by gravity. Yeah. And again, so this talks about, this could be, we are operating under the weight of our own thoughts unnecessarily when success and fate is calling us. But it could be that we have so much going on, right, with this 10 of Wands, and hopefully you can see that. Yeah, it could be that we have so much going on that we are unable to see what is good for us, and we're unable to make a choice because we're so weighed down and confused, and we feel powerless because someone has probably even convinced us that we are. Or we are so focused on one outcome that we miss the possibility of another, right? Okay, where am I on time? Because I don't want to keep you all too long. Let's look at, I want to get some more guidance here. You know what? I'm going to do a Rumi Oracle, because I feel like love is the only thing that's going to get us out of this situation. And Rumi is, he speak of the love. He speak of the love, right? And it's so funny. I actually, I was, and I'll tell a quick story because I have a little bit of time. I went out to Seattle to see some friends, and while I was out there, I had a dream about this Rumi deck. Like, it was just strange. Had a dream about being at a wedding, and there's some voice that said, "Surrender, dear Taurus, surrender." Of course, Taurus, my sun sign. And it showed me this card, the number 33 card. And I couldn't read what was on it. I just remembered the number. And so as soon as I got home, I'd written it down, but as soon as I got home, I got the deck out and I read it, and I was like, wow, the card was actually you who show the way in that deck. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. So I did the reading, and I did the little, the ritual that they recommend. And so I forgot all about it. This was like 2018, 2019 or something. A couple of weeks ago, I have a subscription to this, to my local crystal shop. And they send like a mystery box, and in the mystery box was the 33 card from this deck, and I was like, what in the world? I can't believe they sent me this card. Like, and I was gonna like call them and tell them about it, but I was so blown away because it was in the midst of everything with the loss of my father, and you know, just getting that in the mail. You know, it was a mystery box. I didn't know what was going to be in it. I didn't request anything in particular, and that card was in the box all by itself, nothing else, just that card. Y'all, my goodness. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get some guidance for this reading. Let's get some guidance for you. And again, you know, you may not be particularly feeling stuck or feeling, you know, feeling any of this. And if it doesn't resonate, like what I'll do when I'm watching YouTube tarot videos and it doesn't resonate, I'll either skip ahead or I'll say no. I'll just loudly say to myself, no, not for me. No, not for me. Like I won't comment on it, but I'll just be like, nope, not for me, and I'll stop the video and I'll just, you know, I'll move on. But that's just one way, really, of claiming your own, you know, claiming your own power when it comes to tarot. But let's go ahead and let us find some guidance for this reading. Spirit, can you come into this reading and give us some guidance from the Rumi deck? Give us some guidance from the Rumi deck about this reading. Can you give us some guidance? Interesting. All right, I'll try one more time. Can we get some? There we go. Thanks. The Lion and the Deer. Wow, number 22. I don't think I've ever gotten this card before. Let's go ahead and read all about it. Hopefully you can see that. I know the ring of light is surrounding it, but it is the Lion and the Deer. Card number 22. Okay, the Lion and the Deer. Let's see if I can prop it up just a bit, if you can see it. When you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like the rose. When you fly toward heaven, you become graceful like the angel. If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like hair and yearning, your joy leads the way. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be the paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion and you'll be the deer. Rumi. Okay. I'm going to see if I can just maybe prop this up. Maybe. No. Wow, I was just about to put that over the candle. Yay, Aisha. So smart. Okay. I'm reading about this card. You are the lion and the deer. You are bold, fierce, and vibrant. And you are silent, sweet, and gentle. If I should come to you in arrogance, you roar at me until my falsehood quakes in fear, so terrified it gives up the game and love's conquest happens yet again. If I should come to you in surrendered adoration, open to whatever you may wish, you are so gentle with me. Like a deer, you offer me nothing to fear or resist, so that I too become sweet and gentle, longing to submit to your tender ministrations. So then, I do not fear my own errors, for even if I stumble into arrogance, I shall be made wiser by your magnificent roar and become humble. Even if I become weak, I shall draw succor, evoking the tenderness in you. Whatever is needed to keep me true to love, is what you give me. For you are the holy lion, proud and mighty, and the sweet deer, gentle as the mildest breezes of spring. Wow. So in that I'm seeing a little bit of, and the way that I'm connecting this is this idea of something coming in so swiftly and quickly, you may not have time to even get your mind together and figure out how to respond or approach. But you understand off the top, you understand that this is something that you've been wanting to move past, move beyond, and you've been trying to figure out how to get into that space of moving. And this is the 10 of Wands, right? You're in the 10 of Wands energy of wanting to move beyond, but it's been so hard to do it either on your own or without someone saying, I free you from this idea or from my words or from, you know what I mean? It's almost like it's really, I hate to say it, but it really is like asking your captor for freedom. It's like when there really was nothing to be freed from, right? Because to me, swords are about words, emptiness, mental states. It's about you're trying to ask someone for freedom when they don't even know what's in your head. And so I feel as if there's something coming in where someone is going to approach you. There's going to be news that comes in fast, and they're going to say there's not just news, but actionable news, something to get you moving. And you're like, you either freeze up like a deer or you're going to roar like a lion, and you don't know how that person is going to respond. Okay? All right, I'm going to continue reading. Hello, my old friend. Do you remember me? We are the oldest of friends, ancient soulmates we are, acquainted over many lifetimes past and through many lessons learned together in the school of love. So here we meet again in this advanced spiritual training of the human experience, with the earth as our classroom. The moment is upon us to leave behind what we have once known and to open up to the great mystery of life again. Oh my gosh, I really am just seeing like the center of the, the center of the Milky Way, that Sagittarius A, that picture of a the black hole. Our souls leapt from the divine oneness through the river of forgetfulness and now dive into a body and a life. Creation, right? What a journey that leap begins. Let us embark on this studious adventure together. Let us honor the tiger and the lamb within each other, the lion and the deer. I can witness in you both the raging warrior who fights with unbreakable honor and the healer who brings together those things torn apart. Of course. For are we not all things? Are we not human and angel, animal and spirit? Are we not heaven and earth? Are we not divine? And in being divine, being all things are divine. You know what? This is so beautiful. I feel like this is, oh my gosh, y'all, I didn't even see this in the card. There is a black hole right up in the top left corner of the card. And there's a woman just kind of standing there in its presence. It's being the black hole and she's being her, and they're both in that same realm. Jeez, y'all. Okay. So here we are together in the school of love. And what I was going to say earlier is that I kind of feel like this is a blending energy of, we say so much left and right, good and bad, up and down. And there is this space in us that we need to have to be able to honor the other, honor the bothness of the other, honor both of those two things, because we are all things. We are all things. When I say we are all things, we're both love and hate in our bodies at the same time. We're good and bad, right? We possess all things because we are all things. But first of all things, we begin with love. Okay. So here we are together in the school of love, not for the soul who still adheres to preference instead of curiosity. I'm going to repeat that. So here we are together in the school of love, not for the soul who still adheres to preference instead of curiosity, not for the soul who craves comfort instead of devotion to divine adventures. We must be like lovers, you and I, if we are to take these lessons. We must become willing to become mad with passion, crazy enough to chase the great beloved, even if it means forgetting who we are for a time to have the sacred delight of rediscovery, breaking some rules and looking like fools. Well, what could be greater than becoming a fool for love? That will do for us. That will do well. Let us be fools for love together. So, shall we become study mates? We'll recognize each other, even in all of our varied garbs, bright or somber, wild or gentle. We'll become the most enthusiastic students in the school of love, urging each other on to even greater feats of passion and devotion. How we shall outdo each other in grand gestures and our unwavering commitment. This oracle brings to you a special message. You are rediscovering a part of yourself that has been lost or submerged underneath more practical concerns. Of course, if practicality is all about survival, then learning to be your true self is most essential and practical. All other paths lead to death of the soul. Wow. You are being asked to bear the chaos of this rediscovery. Didn't I talk about chaos? Destruction and chaos. It may be that talents from this or other lifetimes are reawakened and cause you some discomfort at first, even though they will ultimately bring joy and greater fulfillment. Yeah, this could be about your talent coming in and asking you, this is your fate, this is your reason for being, and you're just like, what? Huh? Me? Who, me? Even though you know at your very core of you, it's this 10 of Wands energy that you've been carrying around, and you're just so tired and you just want to move. You've been waiting for divine to move you. And here it is. Here it is. And you're just like, what, huh? Me? Like, I don't want to say don't act stupid, but don't act stupid. Don't act like this is not what you wanted, right? Don't act like this is not what you wanted, was to be moved, right? Okay, I'll continue. You are asked to bear the chaos of this rediscovery. It may be that talents from this or other lifetimes are reawakened and cause you some discomfort at first, even though they will ultimately bring joy and greater fulfillment. The discomfort may be around how those talents are best expressed, about overcoming shame, guilt, doubt, or other judgments. That's what this 8 of Swords is. You're surrounded by those things: guilt, shame, doubt, judgment. You're worried about being judged for this. And again, when I talk about collective, this includes me. This is not like, I'm not perfect. I'm in this energy. I'm trying to figure out how to be moved. Like, how do I get moved, right? Okay. So it may even be about who you are if you now admit your talent or other emerging personality traits. Perhaps what is being unearthed in you now is darker: your sacred rage, refusal to accept disrespect in your life, your inability to tolerate lies and deceptions. Well then, you are the lion and the deer. That is nature. There is to be both in the world. You are not becoming contradictory or hypocritical. You are becoming whole. The guidance this oracle brings you is that you shall prosper most now if you are willing to unbecome what you have believed yourself to be. This 8 of Swords, this is your invitation to recognize and start becoming unbecoming, which is, I love that word, becoming unbecoming. That might even be the title of this, becoming unbecoming. Oh, it's perfect. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to continue. It was never really true anyway, that view. It was partial at best, and just a view, an identity, not a genuine reality. Some of your previous sense of self shall likely come with this transition into the fuller experience of your being, and some of that previous identity shall be shed as far too limiting. It just won't feel true for you anymore if it ever did. Any crisis or confusion this brings you shall be temporary fuel to ignite the divine fires within. They simmer into life, cooking you from within, bringing all of your flavors, spicy and sweet, bitter and sour, into perfect balance. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know if I said this before, but I feel like this is a combining of, I'll say masculine and feminine, but only because masculine and feminine, left, right, up, down, you know what I mean? Anything that was construed as an opposite is no longer an opposite. It's no longer an opposite. There's no such thing as an opposite when you are all things, when you are both, when you are all. The lion and the deer, right? Let's see. Your being will hold all, for it holds all within it. It will deny nothing and become a tonic to feed every taste, every appetite, every hunger, and every deficiency. What an extraordinary sublime meal you shall be. How your presence shall nourish the world. And it all begins with shedding the either and the or, and recognizing instead the all. With such wild permission for unconditional love, you shall thrive in your beingness and feed the hungry world with a meal complete, satisfying, and exquisite. So, here is your sacred honoring ritual. All right. And I will mark this so you can return to it as well. Say aloud, Rumi, who loves me unconditionally. Sorry, I'll wait until the plane passes. My apologies. I'll start over again. Okay. Say aloud, Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, bear witness to my declaration now. I honor the spirit maturity within me that bestows upon my consciousness this sacred task. I have accepted the fundamental goodness of my being and can now cast aside all notions held of myself and inquire into my wholeness. What nestles alongside this goodness? All, of course. I am afraid. I honor my heart, and it is big enough to hold all my nature within its graceful light. I witness my darkness with compassion, and I become able to dance with all of my being, light and dark, in graceful acknowledgement of my divine wholeness. The gentle acceptance of all of me now brings me peace. This acceptance allows the divine to live fully through me as a vessel for the great mysterious plan unfolding upon the earth. With reverence, grace, and surrender, so be it. So I'll repeat that slowly, so you can just follow after me as well. Say aloud, Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, bear witness to my declaration now. I honor the spiritual maturity within me that bestows upon my consciousness this sacred task. I have accepted the fundamental goodness of my being and can now cast aside all notions held of myself and inquire into my wholeness. What nestles alongside this goodness? All, of course. I am unafraid. I honor my heart, and it is big enough to hold all my nature within its graceful light. I witness my darkness with compassion, and I become able to dance with all of my being, light and dark, in graceful acknowledgement of my divine wholeness. The gentle acceptance of all of me now brings me peace. This acceptance allows the divine to live fully through me as a vessel for the great mysterious plan unfolding upon the earth. With reverence, grace, and surrender, so be it. So now I want you to sit quietly for a few moments and gaze at the image of the card. Notice the colors, the interplay of light and dark that create the one beautiful image. This represents you. All light and all dark would have no art at all remaining, only extremes. It is in the interplay of light and dark that enables the living art in progress, your soul, to come most fully to life. When you are ready, simply say thank you. You have completed your ritual. Okay, friends, that was the self-care reading for today. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I'm also creating a Facebook group for the Self-Care Tarot. It's actually called Free Spirit Circle. And what I'll do is, if you'd like to be a part of it, you'd like to join and talk about the self-care readings, or talk about tarot, or learn about tarot. I'm still setting it up, but it's going to be a safe space. So no trolls, no bullies, no hate speech, that kind of thing. But look forward to seeing you there. If you want to check out the self-care guide, it's available on Gumroad. I also have another reading that I'm going to release on Gumroad that was prior to this reading. That was a little bit more than I wanted to just release out into the wild of the internet. So that'll be available on Gumroad for a very small fee. And thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.